Hey Cluckers, welcome back to the channel. Now last week Chessington World of Adventures shared two new themed hotel rooms that you'll be able to book as part of your next trip to the park. What was unusual about the new rooms though was what they were themed on. So you can now stay in either an Oreo themed room and sleep in a bed shaped like the famous biscuit sandwich. If that doesn't take your fancy though, how about a Capri Sun? Yes, the German kids fruit drink brand room does give major Love Island vibes if that's your thing. There's also a slide in the bedroom and some strange vinyl stickers. Personally, I'm all over that Oreo branded room, but me a stay as soon as possible. And we all know how Lindsay feels about her Capri Suns. It's not the first time that Merlin Parks have used sponsorships to theme a hotel room. In fact, currently, Alton Towers offers guests the opportunity to stay in a Cadbury-themed hotel room. Described as a chocolate lover's ultimate dream sleepover, this room sleeps 6 people, has a hidden supply of Cadbury chocolates, lots of interactive elements themed to a factory. Now, if that doesn't take your fancy and you're not a sweets fan, how about a Coca-Cola themed room? Now these ones are a bit more expensive and they're marketed as more of a celebration stay. The rooms have balloons and streamers ready for a party. Obviously, with it being Coca-Cola themed, the fridge is full of complimentary cans of the brown stuff, and there are plenty of interactive elements. Personally, I do love these themed rooms, I've got to be honest. If the price was right, I didn't live local, I'd love to spend a night. But at the same time, I do totally get all those people saying these brand partnerships are a bit tacky and they cheapen the whole experience. Which got me thinking, there are other theme park sponsorship deals that have tainted the theme park industry. Boy oh boy, when I did some research, I found some things. So without further ado, here's 8 theme park sponsorships that ruined the attractions. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Now, not every sponsorship deal lessens the attraction. In fact, Disney seems to have mastered the sponsorship deal, and Epcot is a perfect example of this. Take their rides, like Exxon Energy sponsoring Ellen's Energy Adventure, Kraft Foods sponsoring Living with the Land, or General Motors sponsoring Test Track. Disney uses sponsorships to enhance the attractions. Recently, Ziploc provided waterproof bags for riders of Splash Mountain, God rest its soul. And that was ingenious. It showed what that brand did and it provided a service to riders. Dole sponsoring the Enchanted Tiki Room forged a path to the world's greatest Disney snack. Here's looking at you, Dole Whip. So when Disney announced it was bringing the Japan Tron roller coaster over to Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, Florida, fans debated just who, if anyone, would be sponsoring this new attraction. Would they go with a tech giant like Apple or Windows? A company trailblazing into the future, or even a famous video game brand that could bring the world of Tron to life? What fans didn't see coming was Disney partnering with a car hire company for the new roller coaster. A roller coaster based on a motorcycle. Just let that sink in. A motorcycle, not a car. I know this got a lot of the Disney faithful angry, primarily because Disney has got it right so many times, and it was weird to see them get it wrong. However, we've got much weirder examples of these branding mistakes, so let's slide, guys, let's slide.
So come give Enterprise a try. Just look for the aluminum sign.
Aluminium.
No, it's not.
It is. It's got a U in it.
Shut up.
So we've looked at an attraction with an odd sponsorship. How about a whole theme park? Let's journey over to Ireland, and from 2010 until 2023 you could actually visit a theme park sponsored by a crisp company. Featuring Ireland's only wooden roller coaster, Tato Park was built with investment from Roy Coyle, the potato farmer, that made it big with Tato crisps. And a trip to the park does come with a factory tour to see the world famous crisps being made. Sadly, the potato snack dream didn't last forever, and in February 2022, Tato announced they would be ending their sponsorship with the park in the 2023 season. Don't worry though, the park did rebrand as Emerald Park, and we were lucky enough to be invited last year to the park. Now, apart from still being able to buy the snacks in the gift shop, there was actually no sign that the park ever had been sponsored by the crisps, apart from that delicious crisp on a stick. If you're not a savoury person, how about a water park sponsored by an ice cream? If that sounds more like you, grab your passport. We're heading to Energylandia in Poland for Big Milk Water Park. Now, what both of these parks do, yes, they are sponsored by brands. Yes, the brand name, brand logo appears several times. But this is small change in comparison to our number 7 entry. Let's head over to Spain for a trip to Ferrari Land. No prizes to guess who's sponsoring this one though. Ferrari Land, however, has taken brand identity to a whole other level. It does feature Europe's fastest roller coaster, Red Force, in which you launch from 0 to 112 miles per hour in 5 seconds in a Ferrari. They have a flying theatre ride called Flying Dreams, which feels less of a ride and more of an extra long advert for Ferraris. All the rides in the park have some sort of Ferrari theming. You can even pay an upcharge to take part in the pit stop experience. If that's not enough corporate synergy, how about a Ferrari museum where you can discover the Ferrari story? And for an upcharge, you can even sit in a Ferrari and get your picture taken. Let that sink in. Blackpool Pleasure Beach was founded in 1896 and is known for having historic rides, including the world's first ghost train, river caves, which inspired Walt Disney to create Pirates of the Caribbean, and the last roller coaster in the world with a Mobius loop in Grand National. But if you ask people of a certain generation what it's well known for, it's probably its egregious ride sponsorships. Take the big one. This hyper coaster is currently the UK's tallest roller coaster, and when it opened it was sponsored by Pepsi Max. Although the sponsorship ended several years ago, this roller coaster to many will always be known as the Pepsi Max, and that's partly because you still pass through a can of Pepsi at the start. Pepsi wasn't the only drink though to sponsor a ride at Blackpool. How about the Iron Brew Revolution? Now this one came with a repaint of the track to incorporate the orange drink. Or how about Tango Ice Brass Drop Tower, which was originally the PlayStation Drop Tower? Keep up. Other sponsors in the park had included the award-winning Valhalla being sponsored by the Sun newspaper, the Warburton's Milk Roller Coaster, Ryanair sponsoring flying machines, or Cornetto sponsoring Spin Doctor. These partnerships did usually tend to feel lazy, the way the park just tacked the brand into the name and could have learned a lesson from the previous owner of Infusion. Infusion, the roller coaster, was previously located at Southport Pleasure Beach and went under the name Traumatizer, with sponsorship from the fizzy drinks brand Tizer. I've got to be honest, after riding Infusion, I can guarantee and confirm it's definitely traumatizing. Now, we started this video with Merlin and we're back to Merlin here with a sponsorship deal that left so many park fans at different parks devastated. Let's set the scene. The Flume was an iconic log flume ride at Alton Towers that opened in 1981 and at one point was the world's longest log flume ride. However, in 2004 there would be a retheme that to many ruined this ride, when riders stopped taking the trip on a log and instead entered a bathtub. The park rethemed the ride to better fit its new sponsor, Imperial Leather. It saw people take the bathtub pass under giant shower heads. Now, while this retheme was widely despised, it did feature a dark section with the best jump scare on park, an 8-foot duck which can be seen in the Cursed Alton Manor ride that terrified me on my rides. What Merlin did next though would upset many more theme park fans over at Chessington World of Adventures. Professor Burp's Bubble Works was an iconic dark ride in the park that opened in 1990, and it took guests on a magical tour of a fizzy pop factory, and as an original IP had gained a large number of fans. But in 2006 the Imperial Leather partnership would hit Bubble Works too. Out was Professor Bubble and in was a corporate synergy. Gone with the inventive animatronics and effects, replaced by advertising how to make the perfect bath. So, 2 fan favourite rides ruined by sponsorship rethemes. And what did Merlin have to show for it? Well, they got free Imperial Leather supplies for their hotel rooms. Is that a fair deal? I'll let you decide. So what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say 10 inversion roller coaster? If you said clothing brand, ding ding, we have a winner. Let me explain. In June 2019, Yorkshire theme park Flamingo Land put in planning permission for a new Intamin 10 inversion roller coaster. It was a second-hand roller coaster that had been sat in storage after being ordered by a Brazilian theme park in 2011. The pandemic had slowed down the installation process over at Flamingo Land, and this had meant a lot of hype had started to build around the coaster. The name of the new coaster had become a hot topic for speculation among enthusiasts, with some really cool ideas bandied around. Personally, I loved Inversion, only the IO replaced with number 10. What people weren't ready for, though, was the name Flamingo Land eventually settled with. Sick. Initially, we weren't sure whether this was the park trying to be down with the kids, or a comment on how you'd feel after riding, but what everyone could agree on is this name was poor. However, what we weren't happy about was finding out that this was actually a sponsorship deal with the Scarborough-based fashion brand Six Silk. On opening day, entering the station, riders were greeted with drapes of silks in various designs. I've got to be honest, that and the name were the only real connection. Step it up though with the collaboration that came from a different time. That time only being 2009, but feeling more like it fits in with 1959. What am I talking about? How about a side of sexism with your roller coaster ride? For this one, we're heading over to Thorpe Park, who decided to team the fastest roller coaster in the UK with a chocolate bar. You may be asking though, how's a chocolate bar sexist? Well, the bar in question was Yorkie, a Nestle chocolate bar first produced in 1976 when Nestle noticed a gap in the market and started marketing a bar towards men. However, in 2002, the bar rebranded and took that marketing to a whole other level, just like this advertisement shows.
Yorkie, please, mate.
You're not a bird, are you?
No.
Explain the offside rule then.
A player cannot be in an advanced position of the opponent's last defender when the ball is played.
Open that. Stockings are tight.
Stockings.
Oh, look! A big hairy spider! You know, that wrapper really brings out the beautiful blue of your eyes.
Really?
Yorkie, 5 big masculine chunks of chocolate. It's not for girls.
Now, the marketing collaboration for the ride saw banners around the ride asking the question, are you man enough? Along with the Yorkie logo. Let me repeat that. Are you man enough? What? Man enough to ride the roller coaster? I'm just going to leave that one there back in 2009. Thought that one caused outrage? Well, that's nothing on this next one. We're heading over to Alton Towers to the iconic roller coaster Oblivion, the world's first dive coaster. Now, this one sits in the X sector of the park, an industrial themed area where a sinister corporation is testing humanity. With Oblivion, they're sending you into a black hole of despair to see if you can survive the ultimate thrill. Now, this coaster is a fan favourite of many enthusiasts, and the industrial theme of the area has been praised by many. So, how do you really sell sinister corporation experimenting on people? How about plastering out Fanta adverts everywhere? With taglines like bubbly fun, this sponsorship felt odd and out of place, with the ride and land that had always stood so perfectly for many. The outrage for this sponsorship was so strong that fans banded together on social media, with a Facebook group dedicated showing displeasure to the marketing campaign, amassing over 100,000 members. If that wasn't enough, Towers Times, a fan site for all things Alton Towers, put together a petition calling to remove the advertising campaign and had over 100,000 signatures. This was then sent to park directors who, after taking a look at the ride and the marketing, agreed with fans. What do you think? Do you think their outcry was correct? Or do you think they were getting a little bit over the top? Now, before I get to what I think is the worst example of theme park sponsorship ruining park attractions, I want to give an honourable mention. We've seen so far plenty of marketing campaigns, some that left an everlasting effect, like Pepsi Max on the big one, but plenty that have just been forgotten in the history book. That's where this one comes in. Did you know that Dragon's Fury over at Chessington was once sponsored by Skips, with the animatronic dragon currently known as Frazzle actually being called Skips the Dragon? I generally had no memory of this at all. It wasn't until fellow theme park enthusiast Grumpy Theme Park Dude mentioned it last season that I'd even thought about ride sponsorship, so thanks for that one, and that's inspired me to make this video. Now, my last entry takes us across the pond to an American park chain that's taken theme park sponsorship deals to a whole new level. Six Flags has 27 parks throughout America with so many bucket list rides and attractions. Rides like Tatsu, El Toro and King Dakar have broken records and stand out as the best experiences in the business. But did you know they also make great advertising spaces? Because over at Six Flags you can get your brand advertising wrapped on the ride vehicles themselves. That's right, even the coaster trains aren't safe, with many of these serving as billboards to advertise new films, fast food restaurants, hair products, gum, car brands, internet providers, video games and soft drinks, just to name a few. Now this for me is the ultimate example of sponsorship ruining the attractions, with no attempt to subtly incorporate brands. They're just in your face and ruin the ride aesthetic. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, smash us a like and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again soon.